Something loud rolling down. Everybody shipping what they never wanna see. Boxes full of choices with the later guarantee. Nobody reads the menace until it's at the door. Then it's just a question of what you signed me for. I've got a couple in the yard I haven't opened, sitting under canvas and politely being patient. One of them is heavy and I know exactly why. Going to unpack it on a slower kind of night. Hear the rails complaining down the track. Everything you sent is coming back. Karma freight arriving on the hour. Nothing in the cargo ever loses any power. Doesn't take a side and doesn't take a bribe. Only takes the ledger and it reads it line by line. Whoa, low and grinding through the ground. Somebody's delivery is found. Watch a man unloading 40 years of what he threw. Every single crate had a name that he once knew. Nobody was cruel, it was only what he made. Ordinary shipping on an ordinary grade. This is not a curse and it is not a threat. Just a arithmetic that nobody forgets. What you put in motion is the thing that comes to rest. Make it something decent, that's the only test. Afraid of the karma, quiet in the yard. Everything I said is what I'm going to guard. Let the train arrive, I'll be there at the gate. Nothing in the cargo that I'd wanna hesitate. Something on its something on its something on lulling down the line. Fluorescent fluorescent light in everybody's dome. Badge on the counter and the building holds its breath. Mopping up an hour that belongs to nobody left. Somebody's tomorrow is depending on this floor. Nobody will notice and I'm doing it for more. Bus at a quarter past the time that isn't real. Window full of nothing and a jacket for the chill. Everyone I love is in a dream I'm paying for. That's a decent reason to be standing at the door. Ring around the street lights in and gold. That's the only crown I get to hold. Nightshift Halo sitting on my head. Made of tired minutes and the things I haven't said. Nobody's applauding and I don't require it. Working in the dark is how the morning gets its light. Slow, the baseline walking me to bed. Something holy in the ordinary thread. Sun comes up on people who have never seen this hour. Fresh and uncomplaining with a coffee and a shower. Half of me resents it and the other half is glad. Somebody should get the easy morning that I had. There's a kind of dignity that doesn't need a stage. Comes with a key card and a modest little wage. Nothing in the story that a movie wants to buy. Everything about it is the reason I get by. origin. Truth is too unglamorous to fit inside a pin. Just a lot of mornings that were nothing to report. Only kind of magic that has ever held a fort. Loud is a strategy and it works for a few. Mine was accumulation till the total came through. Nobody applauds the middle of the climb. That's exactly why it stays entirely mine. Quiet in the engine, thunder in the hole. Everything I carried was a thing I never told. Let the room stay noisy, I will take the wheel. Motion is the only argument I fear. Ho, ho, break, ho! Somebody hears the motor as it goes. Fell out of a window that I opened on my own. Broke a couple things and never fully found a bone. Got up on a Tuesday with a limp and with a plan. Nobody was watching, so it didn't need a fan. Second one was money and the third one was a name. Fourth one was a person and it wasn't quite the same. Every single ending told me something on the way. Never on the ground and the grind is things to say. Do the math and see what's in the bank. One is all it takes and that's the rank. 9 lives down and I have got the 10th. Nobody said the number was the measure of the strength. I don't fear the fall and I have made it into skill. Every scar is documentation of the will. Yeah, I heal. Hit the low and shaking off the dust. One more time is all it ever was. People love a phoenix if it rises with the shine. Mine came back with mud on it and half a broken spine. Prettier accounts of it will circulate in time. I prefer the version with the dirt still on the climb. If you're counting losses like the evidence of doom, please recount the ones that made it carpet a room. Every single ending was an opening and code. Nobody arrives, you're on a comfortable road. Down to the last and it's the only one I need. Everything before it was a lesson and a seed. Let them keep the count, I'll keep the thing that stands. 9 of them are stories and the 10th is in my hand. Counting what is left and it's a fortune. Hey, yeah. Counting what is left and it's a fortune. Top floor empty and the lights stay on. 9 lives down and I have got the 10th. Nobody said the number was the measure of the strength. I don't fear the fall and I have made it into skill. Every scar is documentation of the will. Yeah, I heal. Hit the low and shaking off the dust. One more time is all it ever was. People love a phoenix if it rises with the shine. Mine came back with mud on it and half a broken spine. Prettier accounts of it will circulate in time. Nobody was watching, so it didn't need a fan. Second one was money and the third one was a name. Fourth one was a person and it wasn't quite the same. Every single ending told me something on the way. Never on the ground and the grind is things to say. Do the math and see what's in the bank. 1 is all it takes and that's the rank. 9 lives down and I have got the 10th. Nobody said the number was the measure of the strength. I don't fear the fall and I have made it into skill. Every scar is documentation of the will. Yeah, I heal. Hit the low and shaking off the dust. Somebody bump me and I nearly said it loud. Everybody irritated, everybody near. That's the only medicine I've wanted in a year. If you're on your way up, please remember to invite somebody who knew you and you knew him doing right. Buy a smaller table and refuse a bigger view. Nothing at the summit is as good as one or two. Ghosts in the penthouse, wander in the glass. Everything I wanted and it happened way too fast. Let the tower keep the name up on the door. I'll be on the sidewalk where the living are. Top floor dark and somebody goes down. When I water on the neon, everything down. Every neon. Water on the neon and everything runs. City takes a shower and it doesn't get much clean. Rainbow in the gutter from a substance in between. Everybody running like the sky's an accusation. I'm the only person standing still at the station. Umbrella for the people had summer to arrive. I don't have a meeting, so I let it hit my eyes. Something about weather makes the whole facade come off. Everybody honest when the middle's still inside. Watch the whole horizon turn to steel. That's the only time this place feels real. Chrome monsoon washing down the black. Everything weathered and the traffic doesn't stop. I don't need the sunshine, I prefer the gray. Truth horizon weather that would ruin your day. Flash the low and pulling in the street. Something in the downpour keeps a beat. Girl at the crossing with the lash she couldn't hold. Soaking in the light and completely uncontrolled. Best thing I have witnessed in a foreign drive. Rain permission for a person to be alive. Everything designed here wants a person to perform. Nobody remembers how to stand inside a storm. Take the whole umbrella and I'll take the open sky. Cleaner than a costume and it never asks you why. Monsoon of chrome slowing to a mist. Every single surface with a shine and never miss. Let the city dry and put the mask back on. I'll remember how it looked with all of it gone. Water on the neon, quieting down. Water on the neon. Water on the neon, white and D1. Something was still beating in the code. Everything upgraded and I'm running on the same firmware from a childhood with the bug they couldn't name. Faster in the wiring, but the feeling takes its time. Nothing about longing has been optimized. Told me there's a version where the egg is not included. Cheaper and efficient and completely undiluted. Read the whole description and I close it in a click. Rather keep the model that is slow and gets me sick. Static in the signal, warm and flawed. That's the only proof I'm not a fraud. And I look hard in a digital frame. Nothing here compresses and it doesn't take a name. I don't want the update if it takes away the noise. Everything that hurts me is a part of what I choose. Thumb the low and wobbling out of key. Beautiful because it isn't clean. Somebody was crying on a train at 9:30. Everybody looking at her Something else still beating and it's mine. Something Something else still beating and it's mine. La 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 la. Something heavy singing something soft. Learn the hard way that a comfort can be strong. Everybody told me I would have to pick along. Either be the softness or the armor on the wall. Turns out I could carry and be gentle after all. Rock myself through nights that had no business being long. Made a kind of music out of everything gone wrong. Melody didn't write like it had always been in me. Metal in the harmony, that's how it's meant to be. Hush that doesn't ask you to be small. That's the only lullaby at all. Titanium lullaby, tender and immense. Holding up a person with no need for a defense. Sleep us out in the sound and let it take the weight. Nothing here will break and nothing here will wait. Hey. Baseline rocking like an uptight. Hey. The strongest thing about it is the kind. Sang it to a version of myself at 17. Told her that the ending isn't anything she's seen. Told her that the softness is the part that gets her through. Everything she's frightened of will end up being pure. If somebody handed you a choice between the two, please refuse the question. It was never really true. Iron in the tenderness and velvet in the will. Both of them together is what makes a person still. Lullaby of titanium, humming in the dark. Heavy as a promise and as gentle as a spark. Let the whole night carry what I couldn't hold. Waking up tomorrow with a different kind of gold, gold. Picking up the nothing I've got. Something soft, still singing something strong. Lobby full of money and nobody home. Lobby full of money. Lobby full of money and nobody home. Ew, 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 ow. Elevator opens on a floor without a sound. Everything expensive and there's nothing here around. Art on the walls that nobody understands, but it has a number, not a thing for hands. Whiskey with a history and glasses cut to shine. Every conversation is a negotiating line. Learn the second language that the wealthy like to speak. Half of it is silence and the rest of it technique. Count the empty rooms behind the door. Nobody gets fuller than before. Marble and smoke, gorgeous and cold. Everything worth having was already sold. I don't want the tower, I want a working key. Something that unlocks a room that's actually me. Low, the bass line echoing the hall. Nothing here to catch you if you fall. Sat with a man, roamed a portion of the sky. Asked him about mornings and he didn't know why. Never had a Tuesday that belonged to him alone. Richest kind of poverty I've ever known. I'm not here to lecture, I have wanted this as well. Chased a bigger and somebody walks home. Pavement, something still opens. Winter came early and it never left the room. Learned to keep my water moving so it wouldn't ruin. Everybody warmer had a softer kind of spine. Mine got fortune whether nobody would sign. They ask how I'm smiling with the temperature this low. Told them that the cold is just a place I learned to grow. Nothing here is frozen, it is holding to its shape. Patience wearing white until it's time to break. Count the quiet down beneath the ice. Something green is planning to arrive. Subzero Bloom, pushing through the white. Petals with the temperature that argues with the light. I don't need a season to permit the way I rise. Everything that's beautiful was born in tired eyes. Deep below and humming under snow. Nobody can hear the way I grow. Watch the softer flowers get delivered to the door. Cut and photogenic and forgotten by the fourth. Mine came up through asphalt with a nastier design. Ugly in the making, but it's absolutely mine. If you're in a winter that has lasted way too long, please believe the roots are doing everything but wrong. Nothing worth arriving ever showed up on the hour. Cold is not the ending, cold is how you flower. Bloom in the sub-zero, open in the frost. Every single degree of it accounted for the cost. Let the summer people wonder how I stayed alive. Winter was the reason and the reason I survived. Frost on the pavement, something finally open. Something just changed in the room's electricity. Check the lights, yeah, that's me. Break or leave. Power doesn't announce itself with a speech. It announces itself by everything else dimming. I walked in and the conversation rerouted. Not because I asked, because physics. Some nights I'm background, tonight I'm the source. There's no schedule for it, only recognition. When it arrives, you don't manage it, you write it. Half of winning is knowing which night is which. Static rising, air getting thick. Whatever about to happen already started. The current found its favorite conductor. Everything I touch runs hotter now. No grid was built for this. Flip every exhales. That was the small one. Not every star burns hot. The cold ones burn the longest. The white dwarf that has cooled across billions of years still radiates something that the original fire could never have produced. In the beginning I burned hot and reckless and consumed everything around me. The early star phase brilliant but unsustainable by design. The fuel that powers the spectacular young star is finite, and the spectacular phase ends exactly when the fuel runs out. The transition from hot main sequence to cool remnant looks like diminishment. From the outside it reads as decline, from the inside it reads as concentration. It's not less than the hot star, it's different in ways that matter. Denser, more stable, burning on a chemistry the hot phase couldn't access. The music I make now carries a different temperature than the early catalog. More considered, less explosive, more precise in what it's actually targeting. Some of the early audience reads as cool and they want the spectacle back. They're not wrong, that something has changed. They're wrong about what? The cold star phase is not the career cooling down, it's the career finding the mode that cuts the sticker road. Genuinely long timeline, hot stars die young, cold stars outlast civilizations. I'm interested in the long burn, not the spectacular brief one. Burn cooler and burn longer. The cold star's light travels further than the hot ones ever did. Cold star, the phase that comes after the fire and outlasts it. Cold star burning on the chemistry that comes and after the spectacular phase. Dance stable, radiate across the timeline of the hot phase. Cold star. It doesn't go anywhere and brace it. Cold star, element bird, pure explosion. The star that outlasts every speculative by choosing the sustainable temperature. Cool burn, but it never stops. Cool burn, built for distance, not intensity. Cold star, illuminating across the full duration. The listeners who find the cold star phase sometimes find it better, the precision that comes with the post-spectacular period. The removal of the excess that the early phase required to establish the presence, leaving the actual thing the work was always trying to be about. I found a deeper relationship with the work in the cold star phase. The performance, more intention, less spectacle, more accuracy. The cold star doesn't miss the hot phase. The cold star is the result of the hot phase. You can't arrive at the cool burn without having burned hot first. Hot and cold are not opposites in the life of a star. They're sequential, each phase making the next one possible. The cold star carries the memory of the heat inside it and radiates something that only the heat then cool in sequence can produce. Cold star burning on the chemistry that comes after. Unstable rated across the timeline, the hot phase couldn't reach. Cold star, the deepest and most intentional burn of the entire career tonight. Radiating something the early fire never had for precision. The cold star, cold star. The cold star burns. The cold star burns. The cold star burns without spectacle and without end. It doesn't need the audience to keep burning. The physics continue regardless. Cold star. Listen to dense permanent still illuminating. The signal left before I have the words, broadcasting in a future still unheard. The long signal takes years to arrive. Everything I sent was still alive. Voyager style, I sent what I had then, trusting it would reach the right place when the long signal crosses what no message can. Broadcast from the person, not the something with a half-life past my own. Broadcast what a future not yet known. The long signal in the work I leave behind. Frequency that outlasts the body and the mind. I'm just passing through this frequency window. Someone will receive this years from now. The long signal carries what no summary can. The long signal is the whole point of the play. The long signal sent with love and patience both. Broadcast past the current reader across the globe. Reaching out to futures that I'll never stand inside. The long signal is what keeps the voice alive. What I make today may find its audience later. The long signal is the word becoming greater. Oh, still traveling, still true. Surface things don't last the weather. Bone deep is a different measure. Commitment past the pain of moving. Loyalty not constantly proven. Yeah, felt it in the marrow first, not the skin. Say you love conviction, lodged within. Not the kind of knowing you can explain away. Bone deep certainty is built to stay. Walk through things that surface faith couldn't hold. The kind of cold that saved the pure from the soul. What remain when pressure stripped the superficial. Bone deep knowledge, something almost judicial. Deeper than the narrative you tell yourself. Past the reputation on the shelf. Bone deep is where you find the actual fact. What you'll sacrifice and what you take back. Bone deep past the layer of performance. Past the curated social conformance. Structural conviction in the calcium core. Bone deep truth you can't ignore. Not what you say when someone's listening in. Bone deep is only what you know within. Uncertainty, bone deep, knowing out its own maturity. The surface changed 100 different ways. The core stay constant through the compound days. Some people carry conviction in the throat, loud and present when the audience stays close. The bone deep kind is quieter and patient. It doesn't need approval to be ancient. Deep past the reach of second guessing, past the temporary noise and stressing. Structural resolve within the calcium frame. Bone deep, knowing doesn't play the fame game. Now what I chose when options were all clear. Bone deep is what I chose when no one could hear. All the way down. All the way down. All the way through. All the way through. Cut out all the detours and the noise. Main line running straight without the ploys. Direct connection to the thing that counts. Main line, the route that never bounces. Spent years on the scenic indirect. Main line, the route I should select that goes directly to the actual goal. Main line, the unobstructed hole. No transfers, no connections, no delay. Main line, running straight toward the day that everything I wanted came in clear. Main line, the most direct frontier. The branch lines all look tempting on the map. Main line, but they led into the trap of indirect arrival, late and worn. Main line, the route that I was born to finally commit to without doubt. Main line, the cutting straightly out of everything that wasn't on the way. Main line, the most direct relay. Stop taking branch lines toward the side. Main line, the route you can't deny that goes directly to the thing you need. Main line, the most efficient speed. Main line, the direct route to what matters. Cutting through the indirect that scatters energy across the branching lines. Main line, the route that underlines exactly what you actually pursue. Main line, the most direct and true connection to the goal without the waste. Main line, the route I finally chase. Straight direct through. Main line, the route is true. Book the main line ticket, no connections. Main line, abandoned all the deflections that used to make my journey twice as long. Main line, the route where I belong. Arrive directly at the actual place. Main line, the unobstructed grace of going straight toward what I want. Main line, the route I no longer flaunt. The branch lines feel productive while you run. Main line, but they just take you out of where you actually meant to go. Main line, the most direct I know. Main line, and I'm running straight at last. Every detour and connection of the past abandoned for the route that goes direct. Main line, the path that I select, not the scenic indirect delay. Main line, the most efficient way, straight toward the thing that always mattered. Main line, the indirect now shattered. Belt detours straight through main line. The hawk doesn't flap to reach the height. Thermal lifting it without a fight. Riding heat that rises from the ground. Thermal, the effortless rebound. Found the column where the warm air rose. Thermal lifting me the way it goes. Stop fighting gravity with frantic wings. Thermal, the rising that it brings. Located where the heat came off the land. Thermal, the invisible hand that carried me to altitude for free. Thermal, the soaring that set me free. The glider pilot hunts the rising warm. Thermal, the lifting in the storm of summer heat that pulls above the field. Thermal, the altitude revealed without an engine, without the strain. Thermal lifting through the heat again. The patience to locate the rising air. Thermal, the soaring everywhere. Stop flapping at the sky with desperate force. Thermal finds the rising as the course. Let the heat beneath you do the lift. Thermal, the effortless gift. Thermal rising with the heat below. Lifting without effort, watch it go. life, the places where momentum did the work. Thermal, the lift that didn't shirk from carrying me higher than I'd climb. The effortless sublime, riding what was rising anyway. Thermal, the soaring of the day. The eagle knows the secret of the sky. Thermal, you don't have to try to force the altitude with constant strain. Thermal, let the heat sustain. All the time, rising, soaring, effortless, thermal. Everybody's playing for the weak. Speaks a different speak, measuring in decades, not in days. The long game and its patient ways. Watch them chase a quarterly result. The long game runs a different code of patience that the sprinters never learn. Long game waiting for the slow return. Planted trees will never sit beneath. Long game, the generational reef. What pays off in 20 years, not too long game. The discipline I grew. The instant culture wants it all today. Long game tells the impatience to delay the gratification for the bigger prize. Long game, the playing otherwise. Sacrifice the quick win many times. Long game, accumulating dimes into the fortune that compounds with years. Long game, beyond the quick frontier. Short game, players burn out in the rush. Long game, moves without the artificial push toward the win that only patience claims. Long game, the longest of all games. The long game playing for the gaze, not days. Patient through the temporary phase of slow returns the sprinters can't endure. Long game, the strategy that's sure. Not the dopamine of instant win. Long game, the patient discipline compounding quietly across the years. Long game, beyond the brief frontiers. Patient tears. The patient waits. 20 years and saw the harvest start. Long game, the trees I planted at the start, now providing shade. I'd only hope for them. Long game, the patience of the wind outlasted everyone who chased the quick. Long game, the slow and steady trick of measuring in lifetimes, not in weeks. Long game, the win the patience seeks. The oak tree doesn't rush to be the grass. Long game, lets the quick ones quickly pass, building something that will still be here. Long game, beyond the brief career, the long game, and I'm still in it now. Every patient season, every bout, I'm measuring the decades, not the days. Long game, the slow and steady plays outlasted all the sprinters long ago. Long game, the patient overflow of everything that only time can build. Long game, the patient promise filled. Still played, still patient, still here. There's a rhythm in the skeleton you own. Bone music playing in the mirror zone. The frequency that holds your structure up. Bone music, the foundational cut. In the old days they pressed records on the x-ray. Bone music, the forbidden play. Smuggle songs on images of ribs. Bone music, in the letter of cribs. The skeleton is shadow on the film. Bone music, the underground at the helm. what they've been, still found a way to sound. Bone music, pressed on bone and found. Felt the bass line resonate the chest. Bone music, putting frequency to test. Against the structure, holding up the frame. Bone music, the visceral and the same as every heartbeat, hammer in the cage. Bone music, the rhythm of the age that lives inside the body, not the ear. Bone music, the structural frontier. The deepest frequencies you feel not here. Bone music vibrating the skeletal frontier. What rattles in the marrow, not the mind. Bone music, the most primal kind. Bone music, the rhythm in your structure. Frequency that finds the deepest puncture. Past the eardrum to the actual brain. Read the physical reclaim of music as a thing the body knows. Bone music, how the deep bass goes straight into the skeleton you are. Bone music, the resonating star. Feel it, not just hear it. Bone music, get near it. Stood beside the speaker stack one night. Bone music, shaking everything inside. Inside my own body, rib and spine. Bone music, the frequency get divine that bypassed all the thinking and the ear. Bone music, pure and visceral and clear. Music is a force upon the bone. Bone music, the territory known. The smugglers knew the music can't be banned. Bone music pressed by a defiant hand on the only medium that they could find. Bone music, the freedom of the kind. Bone music and it shook me to the core. Every frequency the body's looking for. Past the ear into the actual brain. Bone music, the physical acclaim, not the surface, listening of the mind. Bone music, the most embodied kind, resonating through the structure that I am. Bone music, the rhythmic diagram. Felt in the bone, always Your blades and move too slow to see, building pressure underneath of me. Tectonic shift before the quake, everything realigning for the break. Years of pressure building underground, nothing on the surface made a sound. The continental plates kept grinding slow. Tectonic forces nobody could know. Then the slip, release, a decade strain. Tectonic shift, rearrange the terrain. What looked stable was accumulating force. Tectonic, the inevitable course. Stood on ground and I found was permanent. Tectonic movement showed me what it meant to build on place that always slowly move. Tectonic shift had something to prove. The map I trusted redrawn overnight. Tectonic forces working out of sight. Every solid thing is slowly drifting. Tectonic, the permanent shifting. The ground beneath you is alive and moving. Tectonic slowness always proven. Nothing solid stays exactly placed. Tectonic shift, the ground retrace. Tectonic, when the ground shifts beneath you, everything you stood on starts to leave you. Searching for the footing that you knew. Tectonic shift, the square, something new. Not the earthquake of a single day. Tectonic, the slow and grounded way. Place that move you to a different place. Tectonic shift, the geological grace. Shift, realign, rebuild. Tectonic, the ground refill. Learn to build from movement, not for still. Tectonic thinking changed my engineering skill. Flexible foundations for the moving plate. Tectonic shift, no longer just my fate, but factored into everything I make. Tectonic forces are no longer fake. Surprise about I build them in. Tectonic, where the strong begin. The mountains that you see were once the seafloor. Tectonic patience building something more. What looks permanent was forced up from below. Tectonic shift, the slow majestic show. Tectonic and the ground has found new ground. Everything realigned without a sound. Built for movement. and improving. Roll fade smooth, I'll move with them. Tat 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 proving. Tat 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 proving. Circling a distance I have chosen. Everything I love becomes a center frozen. Satellite heart running its ellipse. Gravity and speed in the eclipse. Calculated the orbital mechanics. Once distance that preserved without the dance. Kappa burning up on the approach. Satellite learning how to coach itself and staying close without collision. Orbital precision as a decision. Far enough to see the horizon. Satellite heart perpetually rising. Some satellites decay and start to fall. Drag accumulating through it all. Maintain the altitude or burn and crash. Satellite heart running from the ash. Adjusted orbit every time the pull. And just beyond the calculation fall. The method love requires constant checking. Satellite heart perpetually reckoning. Orbit isn't distance, it's commitment. The dedication of it continuous. Satellite heart in the firmament. The love that's simultaneous. Satellite heart orbiting what I love. Circling with precision from above. Close enough to feel the gravity below. Satellite heart running with the glow. Never crashing, never drifting far. Satellite heart, the navigational star. Every revolution is a form of staying. Satellite heart perpetually praying. Orbit circle stay. Satellite heart, the only way. Track my own trajectory for years. Notice the ellipse to change its gears. Drawn incrementally toward the center. Satellite heart becoming no more frequent enter into the atmosphere of what I care for. Satellite heart adjusting what it's there for. The orbit tighten as the trust increase. Satellite heart finally release. The satellite stops its orbit falls, but one that keeps its speed and answers calls of gravity with equal outward thrust. Satellite heart, the physics of the trust. Satellite heart, and I have kept the orbit true. Every revolution circle back to you. Close enough for warmth, far enough for sight. Satellite heart running through the night. Nothing in the ellipse was accidental. Satellite heart, the love that's instrumental. Stayed in range through every season's pull. Satellite heart, the orbit beautiful. Still orbing, still here. The wings look beautiful from below. Nobody mentions what they cost to grow. Waiting wings is real before the rise. Freedom has a price, the free to sky. Watch the ones who left and called it easy. Didn't see the years that made them breezy. Every wingspan through painful mold. Waiting wings deliver like a bolt. The feathers grew through friction and through loss. Every inch of freedom at its cost. Nothing lifted up without the ballast drop. Wait a wings, the journey never stops. As the migrating bird, what freedom meant. 10,000 miles of cold and fuel spent. The beauty of the flight obscures the toll. Waiting wings carves hollow in the soul. Not the soaring but the building towards. Waiting wings, the unrecorded record. Everything the altitude acquired. Waiting wings before the flight desired. The sky looks generous from the ground. Waiting wings is what the flyers found. Freedom isn't free of what it costs. floating. Weight of wings no longer just corroding. Transform from burden into lift at last. Weight of wings now generating thrust. What was heavy became aerodynamic. Weight of wings conversion, I'm mechanic. Everything I carry turned to flight. Weight of wings delivered to the light. Someone watching from the ground will see the soaring. Never know the weight that built the wing. Weight of wings is what the honest know. The cost of every beautiful thing. Weight of wings and I have paid the toll. Every altitude extracted from the soul. Nothing came for free above the tree line. Weight of wings, I paid it right on time. Now the lift is real and earned and mine. Weight of wings converted into climb. Everything the freedom cost was worth it. Weight of wings, I learned to work it. Lifted, finally lifted. Lifted, finally lifted. Concrete under every soul, asphalt written every goal. Jungle rules are different here. Read the city or disappear. Move through the grid like water finds its level. Read the block before you reach the rebel. Concrete jungle rules were never written down. Pass through partial pace and no in the town. Eye contact calibrated to the context. Every neighborhood a different subtext. The city is a language you must learn to speak. Concrete jungle rules, the strong and the meek. Watch the veterans navigate the noise. Minimal gesture, carrying maximum poise. The body language fluent in the urban. Every interaction managing the turbine. Know which streets to take it with shower. Concrete jungle rules are knowledge and power. The tourist sees the surface and the danger. The resident moves through it like a ranger. Survive the concrete jungle by becoming fluent. Every rule unwritten but consistent. Read the city like it's reading you. Concrete jungle rules coming through. Concrete jungle rules for staying alive. Reading every signal just to thrive. Nothing in the city is coincidental. Concrete jungle rules are fundamental. Move with purpose, waste no visible attention. Navigate the grid with urban intention. Every block a lesson in the real. Concrete jungle rules the only deal. Read it, move it, live. Concrete jungle, never loan it. Taught the rules to someone new in town. Watch them stumble, then begin to drown in the surface overwhelm of everything. Concrete jungle rules are the offering. Pass the knowledge that I earned the hard way. Concrete jungle rules built over many a day. The city takes from those who never learned. Concrete jungle rules, knowledge earned. Every city has its own specific grammar. Every block a different paragraph. The concrete jungle rolled me into something harder and more fluent than the math. Concrete jungle rules and I'm a native now. Navigated every why and every how. Move through danger by becoming language. Concrete jungle rules, the only bandwidth. Nothing in the urban dark surprises. Concrete jungle built me past the crisis. Every rule I learned, the city Past the visible spectrum, something waves beyond the wavelength of the common gaze. Ultraviolet burns without being seen. The most intense light lies between. The naked I was never built for all of it. Some frequencies demand a different benefit. Ultraviolet reading what the visible misses. The real intelligence and what nobody witnesses. Saw the pattern underneath the pattern. The signal layer past the ordinary chatter. Trained the perception past the standard range. Ultraviolet vision making visible the strange. Certain flowers only glow in ultraviolet. Bees navigate a world we never visited. The spectrum stretches past the human sense. Ultraviolet reality dance and immense. Developed as for what the light conceals. The undercurrent that the surface seals. Wavelengths most observers never tune. Ultraviolet reading afternoon. Past the red, past the violet edge. Ultraviolet is the knowledge pledge. See what burns beyond the normal range. Ultraviolet making home the strange. Ultraviolet what you see beyond the visible. The extended range, the ordinate dispensable. Burning at the frequency of real. Ultraviolet is the only way to feel. Past the comfortable spectrum of the known. Ultraviolet growing its own zone. Everything the standard range has missed. Ultraviolet refuses to desist. Beyond the visible still burning. Ultraviolet always learning. Share the vision with the standard range crowd. Some translated it, some dismissed it loud. The ultraviolet reading was too much. Beyond the wavelength of the casual touch. Kept the frequency regardless of the doubt. Ultraviolet working its way out. What the naked eye refused to see. Ultraviolet became the key. There are people burning ultraviolet, living past the spectrum of the norm. The flowers they can read the past, they navigate invisible to everyone before the storm. Ultraviolet and the spectrum just expanded. Everything the ordinary view is stranded. Burning at a frequency above the common range. Ultraviolet reclaiming every strange. Past the comfortable, past the visible land. Ultraviolet is where the real things blend. Everything that matter live beyond the eye. Ultraviolet reading every word. The spectrum is wider than they told you. System shutdown. Everything goes dark. Complete silence. Hard reset. Zero, go. 31 years in and hit the factory reset button hard. Every save setting, every preference, every guard I built into the operating system of my life. Wiped in the hard reset, the voluntary strife of starting from the default, terrifying and clean. The hard reset revealed what I'd never actually seen, because the overlays are thick, the factory floor of who I actually was before the years of more. The technical support says hard reset when the system won't respond to any other fix. The wisdom of the technician is sometimes you have to lose everything accumulated to regain the use of the essential function. The hard reset isn't death, it's to return to the breath before the first breath of the configured self. The factory default turned out to be more functional and more exalted than the years of patches. Hard reset is terrifying until it completes. Every setting lost was just the overlay on what beats at the center. The factory default was there under everything. Hard reset just laid it bare. Zero on the counter and the whole screen blank and clean. Everything accumulated, gone into the between of what was built and what the factory actually sent into the world. Intentional than before. Hard reset. Who I am before the years of more. Factory defaults. This is the actual me. Before the configuration started building on the factory default with intention. Every new installation chosen with the attention of someone who has seen what the accumulation does. Over years the hard reset gave back because and showed me the essential underneath the craft of the years of patching. When the system bluffed its way past the actual function, hard reset revealed the core that was always worth the asset. Buddhism, that's a concept of the beginner's mind, the master who approaches everything to find it fresh and new without the overlay of expert. Hard reset is the Western version of this, the inverse of the accumulated into the beginner's clean. The hardest thing to do for the experienced, the gene of the beginner's mind is a factory default. Hard reset is the most courageous exaltation of the fresh start. Building on the factory default with every conscious choice, reinstalling the essential with the newly honest voice. Every app I add to the reset system has to earn its place. The hard reset taught me to discern what belongs in the operating system of this life from what I'd added through the accumulation of the strife and comfort. Both the hard reset was the greatest gift. Hard reset, the zero from which everything I left. New system, intentionally built from the factory default. Glass house rules. If you live transparently, you stop throwing stones at yourself. I built myself a glass house when the hiding got too heavy. Every wall I built from stone was making everything unsteady. The load to maintain and the opaque required more than the actual life it was protecting. So I tore the walls down and replaced them with the transparent kind. Every room in my existence open to the find of anyone who looked. The glass house rules are simple. Everything is visible and nothing has a dimple. In glass house living doesn't mean that you have no privacy. It means that the essential, the integrity is free from contradiction between the seen and unseen version. Glass house is about the consistency and the person being the same character in every room and light. The glass house rules, they live the same in dark as in the bright. The public aligned, the private and the performed. Glass house rules are how the authentic is formed. People in glass houses shouldn't throw stones at themselves. The transparency that costs the most is the shell where you keep the honest version visible to you. Glass house rules, the hardest audience is you. Living in the glass house where the walls don't hold a lie. Every inconsistency is visible against the sky. The glass house rules, they be the same in every light. The version that you run in public runs in private. Right alongside it, the glass house is the integrated life where the public and the private don't create the strife. Or the split, the glass house rules, the freedom of a kind that only the transparent get to find. Transparent living, the freedom of the nothing to have. Ask myself the glass house question on a difficult day. Everyone could see exactly what you're doing, would you stay? And the choice the glass house test is the most clarifying. When the answer is a yes, the glass house is the dignifying of the decision. When the answer is a hesitation, the glass house is the invitation. To align in glass house rules are not surveillance. They're the internal standard of self-compliance. The people who maintain the two-version life expend more energy in the maintenance than the defend. Able single life requires a glass house is easy efficient. The aligned life is the most energy sufficient. Living arranged, the glass house requires courage first, and delivers the reason and the unmanaged and the burst of integrated living. Glass house rules apply to the relationship I have with my own eye. Glass house living built from every honest reckoning. Every inconsistency removed from the beckoning. Call of the double standard, nothing that I say outside the glass is different from the inside every day. The glass house rules our freedom from the management of separate stories, the consistent and the adequate. Life lived the same in every life, the glass house gave me back the energy I spent on staying off the track of my own transparency. Nothing hidden, nothing to hide. Glass house rules. The applause ended. Who are you now? After the applause is when the real account starts. The audience is left and it's just you and what departs. When the performance ends, the energy, the role, the face, the one you are to fill the room leaves you without a trace. And what remains inside the quiet of the empty hall is the actual person, the one before the curtain call. After the applause is the most honest room on earth. The stripped back version is the only measure of real worth. The performer I became was very good at being seen, but alone in the after applause I question what it means to spend the best hours in the polished presentation and return to the private with no clear identification of who that person was after the applause test. Whether the public and the private aren't put together by the same authentic thread, or whether the performance was a separate entity with its own enormous empty stage and one chair and the lights turn low. The after applause is where the truest story shows. Strip away the audience, the validation and the cue. After the applause is just a room and you. After the applause, the character reveals itself again. Not the one that earned a standing from the stadium, but the one that lives inside the ordinary Tuesday. The one that chooses what to do when nobody is watching halfway through the afternoon. After the applause is the criterion. The final judgment happens not in front of the meridian. The public eyes, but in the private after curtain call. After the applause is where the actual lives for who you are after the room empties. That's who you are. The most respected people I have known kept the same quality. In the after applause as in the public, no quality. Control department for the private versus public self. No version of the character sitting on the shelf or the scene in a different one deployed unseen. After the applause and the performance were the same serene, consistent character. The performance was the true express for the audience. After the applause, true too. There's a particular loneliness in the after applause for the ones who built their whole identity because of the audience. When the crowd leaves, they discover there's no floor beneath the cell they thought was covered for something deeper. The building was the public, and without the public, nothing's left to publish. After the applause is a spiritual exam that nobody's scheduled, but everyone must pass somehow. Years of performing and the after applause always taught the lesson that the standing ovation never bought, which was who you are in the empty is the whole. The public is the expression and the private is the soul. After the applause is not the anticlimactic drop, it's the sacred room where all the performing finally stops and the person that you actually are gets to speak. After the applause, the truest version of the peak. The room is empty, and you're still here. That's who you are.